Доброго дня, я вітаю всіх, хто прийде.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome everyone in Ukraine Forum and Media Center. Our team would like to welcome everyone with the day of the state national flag. And we would like to share two heroic stories about our national flag, about saving the flag and placing it. I would like to introduce to you our first speaker, Serhii Pozniak. Is a serviceman of the northern group of the National Guards of Ukraine, who's being involved in the operation to place the national flag of Ukraine on the highest points at the city of Sviatohirsk, Donetsk region. We'll start it with the video where we would remind you how this operation was carried out. On behalf of the National Guards of Ukraine, we are raising our Ukrainian flag in Sviatohirsk. We did it. Serhii, how did it happen? That's quite an inspiring video that any Ukrainian could watch and rewatch over and over again. So how was this operation happening? Was it as easy as this video demonstrated? Good afternoon, and I would like to thank you first of all for this opportunity to speak to you and to welcome you with the National Flag Day. The flag is a symbol of our nation state and of our fight for our freedom. Well, as for this operation, I would like to thank our commanders because Colonel Lieutenant Udovchenko and Colonel Mustang Masney, well, then when you have such commanders, then your whole military service is just a number of adventurous operations that help not only to destroy the enemy and its military equipment, but also their morale. When from the other bank of Seversky Donetsk River, you bring captured Russians, especially their special operations forces, troops, people whom we either kill in action or bring as prisoners. Well, it helps to foster our morale, and morale feeds on symbols. And what could be the best symbol for a military patriot than raising the flag on a well-known statue of Red Army revolutionary Sergei Artem. Right before that, we've been keeping the left bank of Sviatohirsk under our fire control, and we've been keeping this monument of Artem our physical control. Also, for 3 days straight before that, we've been successfully counterattacking the enemy, liberating 3 villages and 200 square kilometers of our Ukrainian lands. Also, it happened on August the 1st, on the eve of the celebration of the Day of Paratroopers of the Russian Armed Forces. So that was a way for us to despise our enemies, demonstrating to everyone that Sviatohirsk is Ukraine. The Russian propaganda kept claiming at that time that we were not there, but being on the highest point of this settlement was important, because the enemy could also fire at us while we were on top of that hill. But that was quite an important symbolic event, so all of us volunteered, but they've handpicked only 4 of us, put us on a special vehicle, brought us closer to that monument. But our sharpshooters have been keeping this monument under constant fire. For 2 days we heard the enemy using their radio to claim that it's too risky to even approach that monument. So we recognize that's our chance. So we found the largest flag we could. We arranged the defense perimeter around the monument. And we have the border guard troops joining us at that time, and we used our drones to fix the flag on the monument. Of course, then the shelling started from the other side, but at least yesterday I know for sure that the flag was still on. What was the feedback after you've published this video? Well, 500,000 views on Next in the first day. Lots of retweets, and then my commander told me that mass media keeps calling the northern group of the National Guard's commander, asking whether we liberated Sviatohirsk already. Well, it was quite a spirit-lifting experience, especially since after a week our tour was over, and we recognized that this flag demonstrated to everyone that Sviatohirsk is Ukraine, that the National Guards are brave soldiers. Well, our enemy is not raising the aqua-fresh flag anywhere. We've been observing Sviatohirsk for 3 months, and they couldn't even dream about doing something as courageous as we did. So for me personally, this flag became a crucial indicator that the victory will be ours. Nothing could be done about this. Like they could do nothing about this flag. Even if it by accident drops down, well, we'll still erect it again, but on the other side this time. Well, hopefully soon enough we'll have our flag erected all across the territory of Ukraine, not only in Sviatohirsk. Oksana Polishuk, Ukrinform. Well, first of all, thanks a lot for this event, for raising our mood, for your courage and commitment. So that was your grassroots initiative that your commander supported, right? It was not a combat mission, no. Nothing like that. That was just an idea brooding among the rank and file. Well, our soldiers are full of such initiatives. But what was the toughest part of this operation, and what was the funniest part? Well, the first time when the drone missed, well, this holding rope almost dropped on me, but then it took us just the second attempt to make it all happen. What the video doesn't show is how our sharpshooters were keeping the enemy covered in their positions. Well, thank you for inspiring all of us, all of the Ukrainians. Yeah, thanks a lot. Well, actually, it's the Ukrainians who are inspiring the soldiers and the National Guard's officers, because being a member of this nation, well, you constantly think about how to prove to the outside world that we are already victorious. All that's left is to clean our territory from all the garbage. So the boys liberated 200 square meters, square kilometers after that already. Well, we believe in the armed forces of Ukraine. Thank you for defending us. Well, were there any tactical military goals in addition to the morale goal? Well, of course we had some tactical goals as well, to show how we despise our enemy, because our enemy observed how courageously we raised our flag, shot down everyone who tried to counter us, and our flag stays on. Just imagine, Putler looks at this video and calls his commander asking, so you've been kicked out of Sviatohirsk? And they say, oh no, but he says, the Ukrainians have already raised the flag. Well, this puts the enemy down, believe you me. I can imagine if I could see even one flag on the other side, it would not be pleasant to me. But of course, we'll make them pay for this. But did your intelligence suggest that the enemy changed their behavior after this? Well, a couple of shellings, but no. Look, they started retreating, and I believe it's because of the flag. I'd like to thank you for joining us, and now the floor goes to another speaker, another Serhii Pavliuk, who would tell us the second heroic story of saving the national flag. Serhii is chief director of Kherson Oblast Theater, and he was one of the organizers of the mass rallies in Kherson in March 2022. Serhii, I know that this is an extraordinary story. Please share it with us. I wouldn't claim that it's such an extraordinary story, but it did start under curious circumstances. A year ago, on the Independence Day, you probably remember when in all of the Oblast capital cities they erected huge, beautiful flags. I visited Poltava recently, and I've seen such a huge flag being waved by the wind. Very beautiful sight indeed. But in Kherson, similar flag that was erected close to the city library, it dropped down. So, and this is the only capital of the oblast that has been seized by the orcs. So that was quite a bad omen indeed. So the enemy entered Kherson from Belozerka axis. They bombed out the buildings of police and the security service of Ukraine. And even a couple of days before, in some of the mass media, a journalist stated that Kherson is a pro-Russian city. That's why it's being seized by the Russians so fast. And I was so angry about this, and I started streaming and recording what was happening in late February, and the whole city was covered with Ukrainian flags. Even the monument to Gritsco Nechesa, the founder of the city, had the Ukrainian flag in his hands. A curious detail, orcs started taking down the Ukrainian flags only in May. Before that, they were hiding under them. So the flags were on the government buildings, so they felt safe sitting under and hiding under the Ukrainian flags. But on April the 3rd, when they fully seized the city, I decided to see what happens with the security service of Ukraine. So I crossed the park and close to the Celestial Hundreds monument, our Ukrainian flag was lying in the mud, and the flag of the European Union has been put down as well. So I looked left and right, no pedestrians on the streets, only orcs riding the streets. So I decided, well, I need to get the flag back. And then somebody started whistling to my back, and there's the house of the officers across the street. And I've seen a Russian soldier aiming at me, and he said, "Leave." And I asked, "What was that?" And he repeated it, "Leave." Well, of course, he used a different profanity word, but still, I asked him, "Can I take the flag?" He said, "Yeah, take it and leave." So since then, this flag that I picked from the mud and promised that this flag will be returned to the monument of the Celestial Hundred. And so we had this rally against bringing the so-called humanitarian aid. There were about 20 people there, and I recorded a stream about the rally that we planned to launch tomorrow, and people have seen the flag in my hands. And next day, thousands of residents took to streets. Well, a peaceful demonstration during wartime, that's quite weird. But we stated it's going to be a peaceful event because we didn't want any casualties among the civilians. But this crowd was just unbelievable. So many Ukrainian flags on the 6th and then the 7th, and then the big rally on the 13th of April, the day of liberation of Kherson from Nazi occupiers, and other residents brought a 50-meter long flag that they were carrying across Ushakova Avenue. Kherson is Ukraine. The flag will have to get back where it belongs to. Hopefully it will happen soon. And now I'm working in Mykolaiv, which is close by, but this flag stays with me and my family for the time being. How did you take this flag out of the town? Because it's an uphill battle to take a national flag from the occupied city. Well, when we decided to flee, me and my wife, we decided, if not for kids, and we have 5 kids, we had to flee, but there were the thought of leaving the flag behind never even crossed our mind. But the Lord saves us, so we left at 5 a.m. and it took us 5 hours to get to Mykolaiv. But wet orcs have not been even checking our belongings, because a month ago my friend Volodya Tulka, who directed the film Quiet Terror, well, he was not lucky because he almost left at the last checking point. He and his friend were checked. They found the Ukrainian flag. They beat it up on him and tortured him for 3 days. But apparently he has a guardian angel, so he managed to flee, and now he's in Odessa. So you just do something, and then, only then, you feel how lucky you were to survive. So that's how lucky I was. Unbelievable story, Serhii. Well, one thing to add here: Kherson is Ukraine. Kherson. residents launched a very powerful partisan guerrilla fighting movement. Our Kherson residents are not collaborating. Unfortunately, the theater now operates under the auspices of the Russian Empire. Only a couple of my former colleagues started collaborating with the enemy, but the rest believe in the armed forces of Ukraine. And hopefully, I will bring this flag back to Kherson soon enough. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Thank you for this unbelievable story. Thank you for saving our national flag. If the residents of the occupied territories watch us, please know we remember about you. We will be back for sure. We believe in our armed forces and we work together to bring the victory closer. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes.